Hello friends and welcome to Figure Study, where today we are taking a look at Studio Series Jetfire. I finally got Agitated Grandpa Jet. I know it sounds stupid, but I actually have wanted a movie Jetfire for a pretty long time because I've never seen Revenge of the Fallen, never planned to, but there's something about the combination of my favorite jet of all time and cranky old man robot that's just so absurdly perfect. Growing up, this was it. This was like the one vehicle that I was like, yes. And I've actually gotten to see one a couple of times in the flesh. I think it's the Intrepid. It's an aircraft carrier in New York that's been converted to an air museum. And they had an SR-71. And it was glorious to see. And it's really dumb because I know this is, like, I don't geek out about real-world counterparts, but I just really like this jet. It's an SR-71. It is clearly an SR-71. Like, that silhouette is unmistakable. With that extremely long, narrow fuselage section up to the cockpit there, the point at the end, the 2 points for the intakes, the way it widens out at the end there, and the surprisingly small wings. And it's like all engine. It's like a little bitty cockpit up front, and the rest is all engine. And it's pretty cool. I will say, you know, he's got a lot of panels, and some of those panels do have trouble sitting flush. I've tried very hard to get these to stay lined up, and they kind of don't want to. It holds together well enough in this mode that it doesn't really bother me, and I will be keeping him in his robot mode more often than not anyway. The thing that really bugs me about this is this stupid thing. I don't know why Hasbro did this. Why with the ugly yellow spot right there? And I went in there with some enamel paint remover to try and get rid of it, and that's not doing the trick. So I'm not really sure how best to get rid of that. But I hate that. It's really stupid, and it shouldn't be there. I don't know why they put the bright yellow dot there, and it's also on one of his feet, which we'll see in robot mode, and I hate it. But other than that, it's still cool. Even though some of the panels don't sit quite flush, it's still just a neat, satisfying alt mode. And on the underside, you've got folded up robot bits, but I mean, you know, it's relatively flat, all things considered. And I feel like, while yes, it's bearded robot head on the underside, it still hides relatively well-ish. You at least can't see his face. And I also think it's kind of fun. I'll point this out again in robot mode, but he's got a little gap in his beard specifically so that the landing gear strut can actually fit through it. And his axe store is down there. I don't know. I guess I felt like covering the accessories today. It's cool. I like the alt mode very much because I am very partial to this jet. And it is large. It is large, and yes, I know it's not as large as the Revenge of the Fallen Leader class Jetfire. I understand that. And to anyone who would say this toy sucks because it's not as big as the other one, I would say, and try to choose my words carefully here, size isn't everything, and you are blatantly incorrect. I mean, I'm joking, obviously. I hope, obviously. But really, though, size for me is not everything, and I would much rather have a less of a pain in the butt vehicle mode, because from what I've seen, the Leader class version of this guy, from the Revenge of the Fallen Leader class version of this guy, was even more panely and even more of a pain to get to hold together in jet mode. And while he was bigger, the robot mode doesn't look anywhere near as good, so sorry. I mean, it's cool if you like the Revenge of the Fallen version. That's fine. I don't think anyone's wrong for liking it. I don't think anyone's wrong for preferring it. But for me, this is the Jetfire for me. Well, the movie Jetfire for me. You know what I mean. Anyway, for size comparisons, here he is next to Siege Hound. And, I mean, you know, yeah, smaller than the Revenge of the Fallen, but still pretty big. He pancakes and stretches out pretty darn good. And of course, we have to see him next to the Duck Tank. Alright, and with all of that size comparison nonsense out of the way, let's take a look at this jet mode in just a little bit more detail, because I feel like I kind of skipped out on that at the beginning of the video. So aside from the garish yellow spot, he actually does have some very tiny tampographed lettering on there. And the little painted, I think. Pretty sure that's painted. Yeah, painted cockpit. Lots and lots of nice molded detail, which is, you know, just panels. Because, I mean, it's... the SR-71, from what I recall, is not... Yeah. It's mostly designed to be smooth, which I think is what helps it. That plus the paint that they use and the shape and all that helps to like keep it off radar, I think. It's been a long time since I've studied up on this thing, but you do get some more molded detail in the engines there, along with some additional tampograph details on the winglets. I think the skunk was from the movie. I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen the movie and never will. And I do like the lines of red that are going through here. It's just a nice little accent. So, with all of that out of the way, now that I've finally looked at the detail, let's get to robot mode. And here we have Studio Series Jetfire in robot mode. And this, in my mind, is why this version is blatantly superior to the Revenge of the Fallen leader class version. Because this looks great. It really does. I love how surprisingly well everything kind of twists around and compacts in, so that he doesn't really have much in the way of kibble. I'm not sure how much of this is movie accurate and how much of it isn't, but I feel like if these bits on the top there and these bits on the back are like his only bits of kibble, then that's totally fine. It's totally acceptable. I love this. He is just this wonderful, grumpy, hunch grandfather plane thing. And yeah, liberties are taken, cheats are done. Like, we'll see it more when we look at the head in detail, but like the fuselage, or not fuselage, the cockpit is, you know, it's a cheat. The actual cockpit is folded up in his back. But that does not bother me in the slightest, and I feel like unless this guy was like a movie masterpiece Jetfire, which I will totally buy if you make that, Takara / Hasbro, don't care, I will totally buy a movie masterpiece Jetfire. But yeah, other than that, I don't see how they could have really gotten that to work with a leader class figure. Not without sacrificing some other stuff, like, say, the fact that he completely disassembles to attach to Optimus Prime, which, unfortunately, as of this recording, I do not have that Optimus Prime, so I can't do the combination for y'all. I will. I have that Optimus Prime ordered. I just haven't shipped my pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store yet, so, eventually. But anyway, I love this. He's kind of awkwardly hunched over, which I'm totally into. He's got the weird digitigrade legs, which I know some people are not fans of, but I think works really well for certain body types, and I feel like hunched plain grandfather totally can pull off the chicken legs. He's got actually a decent amount of painted detail in here too, and the stuff that isn't painted still breaks up the color nicely, like the gray in the forearms, but then there's also silver painted in the forearms. The hands have some black for the turbines and some yellow on the fingers. He's got these black plates on the underside of the forearms that totally work in conjunction with like the plane bits and look like it could be parts of the plane. They've got wires painted in his bicep and shoulder. Like, I don't know why they decided to get super in there with the detail, but I appreciate it. He's got little black shoulder pads there. He's got that nice kind of black and red color combination going on in his hunch and the shoulder flappy bits. He's got some detail, like color differential in here with like the silver and the dark gray, which in the promo shots, because everything's all washed out, it looks like it's all one color, but it actually is broken up quite nicely, which totally works for me. His chest also has a lot of really nice detail and some color differential in there as well, like the nice shiny glossy black in the abdomen and these little bits on the sides there. Silver and black and gray for the thighs, which are actually like the turbine intakes, which are actually the turbine intakes. That's really cool. I love how the stuff kind of peels back and the engines become his thighs. It's just a really, it's a cool touch. There are a lot of cool touches with this guy. Yeah, this part of his leg is not particularly well painted, but it's gray on one side, black on the other. It's, you know, it's different. And also it's not a super important part of the leg there. This bit, not really painted, but there's still some nice detail in there. And then for the feet, it's like a little bit of black on the gray, which is nice. It's broken up nicely. And then we get to this stupid thing, another freaking yellow spot. Why did they do that? Maybe it's from the movie, I don't know, but if it is from the movie, I hate it. It's so intrusive and dumb. Anyway, let's look at that mug, and that face is glorious. It's so bad, it's great. We've got the paint for the windows of the cockpit, so that kind of ties it in, even though it's a fake cockpit, and you still have the tampograph details there. He's got whiskers galore, like sideburns going off there, and the beard, and there's just some really nice silvery paint and gunmetal-ish. I don't know if the plastic is gunmetal or if it's painted gunmetal for the beard, and it's slightly squishy, but it works because it's a beard. The eyes actually have like the red on the insides. If this will focus, you can actually see his eyes are painted behind the silver. That is some intricate detailing. And the face is super intricately detailed as well. Lots and lots of texture. I love his kind of meh expression. He looks like Hoggle from Labyrinth. And I am totally here for that. I love this. I love this whole concept, as I said at the beginning of the video. And, of course, we need to complete the look, so we have his landing gear walking stick, which will just plug into the bottom of his hand. And as I've said, I know I don't generally do accessories, but I will make an exception. I will make all of the exceptions for Jet Grandfather, and also, he's an old man. He needs his walking stick. And then the axe. I'm not super crazy about the axe. Plugs into his hand, and it doesn't, like, it actually stops there, even though the hole looks like it's supposed to go all the way through. It will not go in any deeper than that. I'm kind of neither here nor there on that idea, but, you know, if the axe wasn't there, I wouldn't be bothered. But the cane is a must, and the cane is awesome. It's so great. I know people have been really preferring to, I mean, I know there are some that love this guy kind of like I do, but like, I feel like overall the response to Studio Series Jetfire has been, oh, he's too small, Leader Class Leader Class Revenge of the Fallen is better. And I look at this and I'm just like, no, absolutely not, no. Anyway, here is Jetfire with Siege Hound, and, you know, I feel like in the current, I feel like climate's the wrong word for it, but in the current state of Transformers toys, I feel like, yeah, that looks like a leader class, even though he's hunched over and his legs are like super scrunched up. I could make him taller if I want, but then his cane wouldn't reach the ground, and what would be the point? Sorry. But yeah, he's pretty decent size, all things considered. And again, I just love how he kind of scrunches in and becomes this surprisingly dense, hunchbacked old man that I love this so much. I love this design so much. And don't think I forgot about this. Here he is with the duck tank. Yeah, wow, this entire video has just been me singing the praises of, of Studio Series Jetfire. I am sorry if you came here looking for a critical eye. You're not going to get it. I mean, yeah, this guy is not perfect, obviously. I've yet to encounter a single toy that was perfect. I've yet to encounter a single thing that is perfect. Except Astrid. Astrid is perfect. And Finley. I'm sure there are inaccuracies with this compared to the movie. I'm sure that there are other sections that could be painted more. And I know definitively that it would be preferable to a lot of people, and I wouldn't mind it if the vehicle mode pegged together a little more securely in a few places. But I don't care. I really do not care. This guy is fantastic for me. Really, the only thing that I desperately want to have not be a thing with this guy are those stupid yellow spots that don't need to be here. You can't see it past his cane. There you go. Stupid yellow spots. And like I said, maybe it's accurate to the movie. I don't know, but I don't care. They are just in the way. They don't ruin the figure for me by a long shot, obviously, because I still haven't shut up about how much I love this stupid thing. But it just seems like such a stupid thing for them to do that mars the look of this guy. I don't understand why they did that. And yes, I've seen clips from Revenge of the Fallen. I know Jetfire's not really a good character, much like how virtually nobody, human or robot alike, in a Michael Bay Transformers movie is a good character. Particularly The Last Knight. Oh my god, that's beside the point. But as just a figure, since I don't really have the experience of seeing Jetfire in the movie, I don't have to really think too hard about him as a character. So just as a concept, as an SR-71 that turns into an old man robot, I love this. But that is enough of that. I have carried on far too long with all this nonsense. So, what do you all think of Studio Series Jetfire? Is this something that you are willing to forego the Revenge of the Fallen leader class figure for? Do you even care one way or the other? Do you like both? And what are your thoughts on the idea of a possible oversized version of this guy, possibly from Wei Zhang? I mean, I'm not saying this is a thing that I've heard rumors about or anything like that. As far as I know, there isn't ever going to be a oversized knockoff Jetfire. I'm just saying they've done other oversized knockoffs in the past, so maybe it'll happen, but I'm just curious what you all would think if that were to happen. And by all means, if any of you have heard of or found ways to get rid of those stupid yellow spots, please let me know, because I really, really want to get rid of them. But whatever your thoughts and or advice, please feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. And while you're at it, also feel free to like or subscribe. Any of those things would make me a happy Rob, though it probably will not cheer up Jetfire. I'm pretty sure nothing will cheer him up. And remember, art and age is more than meets the eye.